First, it was Crunchyroll that released their survey, well, at least a report, saying that most people watch anime dubs, and most people are starting to watch anime altogether. Let's face it, majority of things around the world, especially Western content, starting to suck a lot. Now we have Netflix releasing their report saying that more people are starting to watch anime every single year, and this is the year they have most people watching anime more than ever. It's a good thing, also a sad thing. It's showing the depth of Western entertainment, where it used to be a very good thing. Now it's so terrible. No one even cares to talk or watch about it. We do have things here and there people talk about, but it's still so very little. And I look back on it and talk to myself and thinking about when was the last time a very good action packed cartoon came out? Seriously, a good last long running action packed cartoon came out. When has one came out? One of the Bean Mouth Cloud Arts animation art style. When was the last time we had that? Last time I can remember, it was short. It was called Unicorn Warriors. Unfortunately, by the creator of Samurai Jack, by the way. Unfortunately, that didn't last long. It only lasted one season and never got another season, unfortunately. So all we get are these typical ADHD, wacky, in-your-face shows now. That's always it's always on Cartoon Network, or something about some therapy session all the time. Same thing all the time. It's ridiculous. It's repetitive. It's redundant. I don't like it, and because of that, people stray from cartoons or even Western animation and go to Japan or even now China for crying out loud. You've been watching To Be Hero X, by the way? Amazing stuff. Or, of course, Korean stuff, like Tower of God and everything. Anyways, that being said, um, it's anime has its flaws. It does a lot of repetitive stuff of isekai and romances and stuff like that. Where it will draw the same character, the same synopsis, a lot of stuff like I left my high-ranking adventure, or I was kicked out of the hero's party, or I'm in another world, or it's which girl the boy chooses and stuff. It has the same tropes as well, but the thing with anime is that you have an abundance of it coming out every season, an entire abundance. And plus, you can always go to the 80s and 90s and early 2000s and watch from there. And that's still a whole bunch of it. So you have options, you have variety, unlike here, where how many new shows even come out here as animated because the studios here are very corporate, extremely corporate, and it's corporation first, human ethics last. And because of that, you don't get a lot of animation products being made because that's our moral. Where in Japan, oh yeah, man, we gotta make union please the people. And that's what they do most of the time. We don't have that here. But anyway, you think this might be a good thing. In a way, it's good that more people watching anime. In a way, it's bad. I'm in a long time. I've always said, and a lot of people said, that having anime being mainstream would be a big mistake. It will be terrible because it will fall along a bunch of um great pretenders, I would call them. A lot of fake people who pretended to be anime fans for a long time. Like, look at video games, look at comic books, look at movies. There are people who didn't care about a niche until it became mainstream, and then when they saw it become mainstream, they latched onto it and they started pretending that they've always cared about it. Comics is a perfect example of it, especially video games as well. Video games and comics were niche. You're made fun of, saying, "Why don't you go outside? Why don't you do something, talk to people and stuff?" And the problem is, most of us couldn't do that. So we went to comic books. We went to video games for escapism, a more harsh reality. And then Hollywood came in and picked up the comic books, mainly Marvel and DC, and started making superhero movies out of them. And then video games became more mainstream. And then now all of a sudden, people who would once ridicule you for it are now pretending that they've always liked it. Like it's always cool because they're just trend followers. That's all they are. They follow what's hot, you know, what's in the news, what's on the TV all the time. So because of that, we're in this situation. Now you have comics being very, very crappy. You have Western video games being very crappy. Because then these certain individuals will hijack into the industry and they'll make it worse. It's not a good thing. But there's a lot to talk about this with Netflix and how anime is being so popular to the point that people are trying to make live actions out of them. And most of them are terrible. Terrible. Because Hollywood doesn't understand, you know, what people like when it comes to adaptations. See, as people think when you want to adapt a Western product and turn it into a movie or show, most of the times the director will take the book or whatever it's from and say, let me add my own spin into it. And then sometimes people accept it, or sometimes people don't even know about the book or source material, and they'll just, and if it's good, it's good. Just like that. However, it's not like that with anime and manga. Most people who watch the anime pretty much know what's going through the manga or like novels because they're pretty much the same. When it comes to Eastern entertainment, we love it when things are the way it's supposed to be. Like you turn something into an anime, you turn something into a movie, even a live action movie. We want to respect and be like the source material. No big, real major changes. We can't stand that stuff. That's why you don't see a lot of filler now these days when it comes to a lot of anime projects. Fillers are almost a thing of the past. We don't see fillers no more like we used to. Almost every major shonen back in the past would have crap tons of fillers, but not these days. Demon Slayer has no fillers. Jujutsu Kaisen has no fillers. You know, um, what else that came out? Hmm, what else is big right now? It's a big shonen. Hero Academia. Yeah, Hero Academia don't really have many fillers and stuff like that. And that manga ended a while back, but there's no fillers. Occasional movie here and there, but that's it. But there's still no filler. But there's more to it than that. We also have reports saying that most people watch stuff dubbed now. You watch stuff dubbed. Okay, watch dub stuff. You know, there's always stuff versus dubs and stuff, everything like that. And it was because dubs in certain areas most of the time sucked. And then during the Big Bang Yawning situation, people were really getting tired of dub voice actors changing things when it came to certain lines within the projects. So that really upset people, including myself. So we like just prefer subs. Then now they're even trying to change the subs. So people are getting very agitated. Like there's no way to go. So they pirate stuff. But now people are watching dubs. Now, see, you could be saying, who cares? Yeah, you could say who cares. What worries me is why it's just dubs. Why it's mostly dubs. And the reason why it's mostly dubs is a lot of reasons. But one of the reasons as well is lack of education. I knew it for a while, but it seems like each generation here in America is getting dumber and dumber. You expect with engine search tools at our disposal, unlike ourselves, we could look up and research anything in the world. We could understand anything in the world because our search engines can give us answers to almost everything we look for. It should be good, right? True, in thesis, but in reality, that's not it. You see, we are becoming more and more of an age of convenience. And because of that, we don't really bother lifting a finger when it comes to a challenge, when to really using our noggin. We don't use it. And unless you use your noggin, even when you do have that search tool with you, not using it correctly, it causes you to not really think. It really does. So most of the time, you'll believe things that you'll see and hear face value, and that's it. You don't think about it, and you make those your ideals or beliefs. So why bother? Why bother reading when you can listen to it? Sit there and just watch. You know, back in the day, it was hard to get your hands on English dub stuff because you had to wait for the Blu-ray or the DVD to come out, and then you had to wait for that to be on the pirate side. So it took a while the subs were just there already. So we were born and bred on subs growing up. Besides for kids dubs and stuff, you know, we would go on pirate sites to watch these subs. But now almost every anime is actual. Not all of it, but almost every of now. It's a lot easier now. And plus, dubs are being released faster and faster every year. I understand why the new generations don't want to watch things sub, but they can watch it dub. They don't have problems. They don't care about it because they probably don't know much about the sub when they watch everything on Toonami. They watch everything on TV or on Netflix, so they're used to English voice acting. Unlike us, most of them can't probably even name most Japanese voice actors or even care about it because they're mostly watching their stuff dubbed. You know, it's increasing the relevancy of subs here in America, which I understand. But then at the same time, like I said, a lot of reasons why people prefer watching these subs is because a lot of people can't read nor can they spell. It's ridiculous. People don't even understand the words they use most of the time. You can see that on the internet. They always throw random words at you, but they don't really know what they mean. But they'll keep using them because that's what they were told to do. It's okay to do so as long as you're on the right side. And no, it feels like I'm digging deep into this, but it's a very worrying thing, And plus, we have the new generation, which most some people call them post-COVID weebs or hood weebs. Is well, there's a big difference between those two. Post-COVID weebs are just people who started getting into anime after COVID season, but however, they understand the nicheness, the things that make anime, but the average viewer enjoy it by certain tropes that people now seem very unagreeable. But to us, we like them. We grew up with them. If we didn't like the tropes, we would still rather have them use them than force them to say, hey, stop using those tropes and stuff. We'll just watch something else. But we don't have that with this new generation. This new generation just wants and demands everything to go their way all the time. So they'll see like fan service or certain jokes that they don't like, and they'll immediately call you out on it, saying how bad of a person you are for making this anime because certain tropes are that are in it. And I do not understand this. I do, but I don't want to understand it. It's ridiculous. It's just like you come over to another culture's entertainment, and now you demand for it to change because you don't like it. There's just so much into it, like a lot of bad, in my opinion. You've already been said years ago that allowing anime to become mainstream was going to be a bad thing. The only good thing about it is that the West, mainly Hollywood, can't really capture its essence. That's what I'm saying is they can try to make all the live actions they want. They can try to make anime inspired shows they want to. Never be the same. It won't be as good enough because they lack that sort of creativity that the East has. And because of that, it won't really succeed on that front. However, when it comes to the audience, when it comes to voice acting and everything else, who knows? But anyways, the future of anime itself, depending on what generation you are, could be very good or very, very bleak. It all depends on the generation. Me, I'm like late '90s and early 2000s versions. I've been there. I've seen all the crazy stuff, man. I even seen '80s anime, all of it. So I enjoy it. But a person who's younger generation than me probably won't enjoy it because for some reason they're very sensitive, especially with all the censoring and all the don't like graphic content. So much going on around. They'll have a different perspective on it. So it's just something that worries me in a way. Like the future of anime. Like, I'll be an old man. I'll still be watching it, but I guess I won't have much of my opinions onto it like I used to be. Probably worrying about other stuff like my health. But yeah, that's where I am on the situation. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is it going in the wrong direction, or am I just overreacting about all this? Let me know. I really like to hear you guys' opinion on this. With that being said, I'll end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that like. This has the background on that. Signing out.